Sunday morning, back to work onto the van. This morning I already went to pick up a couple of more things that I needed. The connectors that I was missing yesterday to plug the ground cable, and I also found finally where is the grommet that you can use to pass the cables through the firewall, so from the engine bay inside the van. But the thing is grommet is mostly used, and even though there is some space to pass some cables, is not nearly big enough to pass all the cables I need to pass, including the battery cables. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you where that is, and then I'm gonna drill another 3/4 of an inch or maybe bigger, maybe 1 inch hole through the firewall, so that we can pass all the cables through. So alright, so this is gonna be difficult because the position of this hole is not exactly straightforward to show. So but you can see is this thing here, this, and I don't know if you can see, but there is a little hole, halfway drilled hole that you can drill so that you can pass more cables through. Unfortunately that hole is a little hole, so it's not good enough for me. I need to pass the big cables from the battery cables, as well as a bunch of other things, probably the antennas, and I mean there is a lot of stuff to do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just drill a hole right on this side. Let me see if I can show you this way. So this is the current one. I'm gonna go on this side here, right there. Once that is done, the hole will basically go, let me show you again, not exactly simple. The hole will go basically there, here. This is the original one that is on the other side. Difficult to see, I suppose. Let me see what can I do. So this is the original hole, so I'm gonna go a little bit more inside at this height and a little bit lower, so hopefully I can drill the hole from the inside here and then pass all the cables through. So in order to do a clean work and make sure that the cables don't break, there are two things that you need to do when you make a hole into the firewall. One is that you need a grommet, which is something like this. That basically goes into the hole and protects the cable, so the cable will slide through this hole here. And you also put some protection. Where did I put it? Here. Like it could be this one, and you can put this one through the hole, through the grommet, like so. And then basically this ensures that the cables are well protected and nothing gets broken. In order to do this though, I have a better tool, which is this. This is exactly how it says, a firewall boot, and this is very handy because you can cut it to the size that you need. So this one is smaller, this one is 1 inch wide. So once you cut it at this level here, then you have 1 inch and the cables can pass through. You can see how is made inside. So basically your hole that you need to cut is the size of this ledge here, this one, and it goes either side. It depends which side you wanna have towards the inside of the car or the outside. It doesn't really matter. But this is fairly wide, so it's comfortably hosting a fair amount of cables. And then basically the cables will go through this. And then since this is thick rubber, you can even avoid adding the protection cable because that takes some space as well. And so effectively you will have a smaller hole, but that's up to you. I think as a general rule, I always put some plastic, some protective plastic around the cables, because this is also better for heat resistance. It's not just scratch resistance. But that said, I'm gonna measure. I don't know if this thing says the size of the hole that we need to drill. Yeah, it says, so it says 1 and 25, 1 inch is 25. And in order to make this hole, I have this kit which has all the sizes that we need. That one is 1¼ inches, 1.25. Yeah, so that is the whole. Sorry, I'm not really used to this inches thing, as I said in the other video, but so 32 millimeters or 1¼ inch, which corresponds to basically 1.25. And if we match this with this, that should basically fit in there pretty close. Yeah, so that would be about the right size. Now you wanna double check and make sure that you don't screw this hole, because once you've done this hole, you cannot close it anymore, and it's a big hole that you're doing in the firewall. So it's really important that you measure everything twice and you cut once, as they say. I need to mention that before using this big bit to drill the hole, you wanna use something like this very tiny drill bit, and make sure that your hole is centered exactly where you need to, because once you have used the bigger bit to drill the hole with this, then you will not be able to align the hole differently, or if you do, it's gonna be more painful and more difficult to move it. So you want to make sure that the hole you drill is correctly placed, and so you use a very tiny drill bit just as a reference point, especially in a delicate place like the firewall, where you don't want to drill in a place and risk to hit something else that is in the way. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this in, make the hole, and make sure that that's exactly the center of the bigger hole I need, in this case an 1.25 inches, and if everything is all right, then proceed with the bigger hole. Alright, so I have the drill bit here, and I'm gonna do the hole where I think it will be fine, and hopefully that works out fine. Don't say that. There. So I'm not sure this thing is long enough, so I'm gonna have to go the other side and see if there is a hole. So let me show you. If you can see, I'm not sure you can see, do my best. Now there are two little holes there. There are two little holes right there, and those are the holes that I made from the inside. So what's telling me is that I can go probably lower. So the way this works is that there is the drill bit here with the normal bit, but then you screw basically the bigger cap on it like this. Now with one hand is not exactly super straightforward. There you go. Right, and the main drill bit drives at the center of the hole, and that's why it's important to have the actual center marked properly where it needs to be. I have to increase the power because the drill it's not strong enough otherwise, so there we go. And there is our hole. Be careful, do not touch this when it's just done, when the hole is just done, because it can be really hot. So I'm gonna let it dry, cool down, and now you can see the hole right there. It goes outside. We haven't destroyed anything, everything is cool. I'm just gonna hoover this stuff here. It's nice and clean hole, and it's a nice location, very easily to go everywhere. Here can go there, can go straight through, so that's really good. Important to clean the area because there are metal bits in there, so this is just a quick cleaning. Afterwards I'll take the shop vacuum and make sure that there is no traces of metal or anything right there. Pretty good quality, this rubber, which is good. It's not gonna break, I don't think. There we go. So that's nice space. What I'm gonna do now is check how wide the cables for the battery are and see if that's enough. I think that would be enough. So these are the battery cables. Obviously we don't need the clamps, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Damn, I still haven't removed my watch. I always forget that and then I scratch it. I get rid of it. There we go. So as you can see, this is the thickness. I'm gonna have to cut the clamps away. Sometimes, most of the times, you can just remove them easily. These ones, I think I'm gonna be better off just cutting the cable. I don't know if I can just do it. Before doing that though, I need to make sure that the length is enough. But as you can see, there is plenty of space to put the cables here inside this grommet, and plus everything else that needs to go through. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the short side outside and this part here inside. So I need to put the grommet from the outside inside. Alright, so that's gonna be hard to show you while I do it. So I think, I'm not sure you will be able to see it. So I'm just gonna show you afterwards. Let me just show you the hole first. So you can see the hole we just drilled there. So now I need to put the grommet in there. I had to take the shop vacuum, which is here, just to reach that place there, because it's not easy to reach with the other little vacuum. Actually, this is the piece that we cut. So interesting. We want to make sure that this goes in a safe place. This is really sharp and it's a recipe for cutting yourself. As you can see, I also put my gloves on, because to put the grommet in the hole, it's gonna be a little bit of push, and it's really dangerous to handle bare hand, you know, steel or whatever that is sharp and cut live like that. So always wear your gloves. You can see these are fairly thick gloves. I've done the mistake before not to put the gloves on, and I'm not gonna do it again. Right, so I managed to push the grommet in, so now you can see it there, and from the inside also looks pretty clean, as you can see here. Right, so that's the grommet right there. To pull it from the inside, if you see that you cannot push it easily from the outside, just go inside and pull it. This is the best grommet that you can buy to do this kind of job, because it's longer. It's not just about the length of the hole that you are doing. So this is really good. I highly recommend this, and actually I think I might buy another one.